Alan here. I have a DIY project for you, and this is for the smokeeater908's fire plug, and it is a real simple project that it just takes one simple part to make the adjuster sleeve so you can adjust the remote height. And basically, as far as I know, it works with the Schedule 40 end cap that I use on my fire plug. I don't know if it'll work on the early editions, but you can always try by taking your fire plug end cap down to the hardware store and see if it actually fits in this part I'm going to show you here. And it basically allows you to adjust your remote to match your stove, and it has a nice snug fit, but it still allows you to slide it down to match the stove that you're going to be using with it. And so now we're going to show you the part that I actually used, and this is the part. As you can see, it's like kind of like a C shaped, and then it has this little fitting on the end here, and this part is going to be removed off from it. And what I did is I just cut straight down to the bottom, and then that's going to leave a little extra on each side. And I just took my angle grinder and just ground off and made that a nice round concave shape to match the rest of it by removing that. And then also on this piece there's a little nub in here that you have to sand off to make sure that's flat. And one last thing is on the end caps, they have this little piece from here to about here of little raised ABS plastic that you have to grind that off and make sure that's smooth so it will work in the little sleeve. And the next thing you want to do is, once you get that removed, if you, depending on what saw you use, if you don't have a precise way of cutting to the measurement that I'm going to be giving you, then basically you can split this in half, and then that will leave you a little extra on both sides, that whatever way that you end up shortening up the piece, that at least they'll give you a little room to grind that down. But if you do have a precise saw, then you can basically cut it right next to where it should be and have nice smooth edges. And this can actually make two adjuster sleeves out of this one piece here. And the piece is from Lasco, and it's a 1" by 1" by ½ inch PVC 1, and I picked mine up from Lowe's for $1.70 roughly. And what I did with mine is I used the part that I did not cut on both sides, and that's the part I actually set down on the flat surface to play it safe, because if you don't get your cut, or if you don't grind the down to the exact measurement, it might be a little rough, so it might not sit flat. So what I recommend is to use the smooth side that has not been tampered with, is the part that actually sits on your flat surface. And when you get all that done, this is the end result of what it looks like. It is a little rough where I ground it, but I'm not concerned about that. And then what I did is, on the measurement, this line you see in here, that's a measurement that I came up with that works for the mini ring of fire with the integrated pot stand. I marked it so I can just set the remote right to there, and then I know that I'm always going to have the proper feed for that. And my measurements that I came up with, the height that you need to cut this off of this one part, is either 1 3/8 or 35 millimeters tall, and that's from here up. And then if you make another one, it's from here up, then there'll be a chunk in between that you disregard. And by making it those exact measurements, that allows you to, and that works with this bottle that comes with the fire plug. It might not work as well with other ones, but this particular bottle, by cutting it to that exact measurement, it allows you to push the fire plug all the way down so it's all flat, so it actually can sit flat like that, like it would be not using the sleeve at all. And then it tucks up right next to the bottle, really close, but it still allows you to store it away, and you can just basically leave it like that if you have a stove that requires it to be all the way down, or if you have a stove that requires up, you just basically put your fingers on the edges and carefully move this up without squeezing your bottle, and then you can adjust the height you need, and then it stays there, and it seems pretty sturdy. I mean, if you have a lot of fuel or uneven ground, it might tip over, but as long as you're on a flat surface, I had this bottle full and it's felt pretty stable. And the nice thing about this fitting is it just enough tension on the end cap for the fire plug that it holds the position, but it still allows you to slide it up and down relatively easy. And then it does have pretty good side-to-side adjustment. If you end up doing that way, it still works. And if you do find that you need to have a little bit more stability, since this is missing this side of the C part, you can probably come up with your own little extra flange and attach that to the exterior, but not do it on the bottom, so you don't make this sit too high. You can just, or it still might work. Yeah, either on the outside edge, or you might be able to step it up just a little bit if you want to glue a flange to it. The only thing is the thickness of whatever you use down here, it will kick the fire plug up that amount, which might be a little too much if you have a stove that requires it not. So I'd probably recommend doing something exterior so you don't change the actual physics of the position, that the way it sits just like that. But that, yeah, I'll leave it up to you. So hopefully you enjoyed this little DIY project, and if you want, you can leave some comments and click the like button, and hopefully in the future I'll have some more DIY projects as I come across some from what I've experienced. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Catch you guys another time.